Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com. You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio here at irlonestar.com, worldwide, and Connors FM 104.5, 106.1. It's me, Dick, the host, and that means we got a live show going on. So if you're listening, you can always join us on our YouTube channel and Facebook page, because I got a special guest. He is back. That's right. We have Bryan Bielanski, the musician, the traveling musician here in the United States. And he's on Zoom with us because he's going to be playing at the Red Brick Tavern, I believe, on Sunday. That's Sunday, November 17th at 7 p.m. right here in downtown Conroe. That is the Red Brick Tavern with Bryan Bielanski. And Bryan, dude, where are you right now? Hold on, hold on. Let's try it. Sorry, I can hear you now. I got you. Sorry, where are you right now?
Well, hey there, Dick. Great to be back on the show. I am at a truck stop on I-40 on my way to my show in Amarillo tonight.
Okay, so truck stop's a traveling place. So that's where the travelers go.
Oh yeah, I run into a lot of truck stops on my travels.
Yeah, how's the food over there?
Oh well, I'm just eating a bunch of junk food out of the truck right now. I didn't get anything.
Well, I do want to let everyone know you are a musician. If you want to hear Bryan's music, I have links in the description and stuff like that. You can go to his website, see where he's at, his social media, and also where to hear his music. You've been playing music for a while now, and you've been on my show, probably 4 times, I feel like, or more. And every time you're around, like the Conroe, Montgomery County, Houston, Texas area, you stop on by. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Well, actually, I won't be there on Sunday, but let's tell people at Sunday, is it free at the Red Brick for people to see you?
It is definitely, yep, it's a free show. I'm going to play for about, I think, an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's played Red Brick Tavern, I think, probably 4 times now.
Yeah.
It's a great place, and I always love, Conroe's a great tour stop for me. They keep having me back, and I appreciate you keep having me back on your show.
Sorry, I was getting a drink. Yeah, I mean, you haven't really messed it up yet, so I'm going to let you come back on. I wanted to tell listeners, your music is really great. You're a singer-songwriter. It's typically just you playing your songs, and your songs are very creative. So if you're looking for a fun experience on Sunday, it's totally different than anything you're going to see with Bryan. And because, I mean, you do the harmonica, you do your guitar, you do other things too, right? What other things do you do?
Oh yeah, well, this year I started playing the kazoo on some songs. Oh yeah. So now any song that has a wind instrument, like saxophone or anything, I can now duplicate that on the kazoo live.
That's awesome, man. And your show, it starts at 7, so you're going to be on stage at 7 p.m. here Central Time, and it's a free show, so just show up. I know I think you can RSVP for it. But I think the Red Brick's kind of small, so get there early. I would encourage everyone to get there early and have your belly empty because the food there is really good, and you can have a nice dinner and a show with Bryan.
Oh, yeah, they do have great food at Red Brick Tavern. No doubt about that.
And so tell me what you've been up to. I know you were traveling. If you look at his tour schedule, it is insane. Just to give you an idea, this is Friday. It's Friday right now. And tonight you're going to be over in San Antonio, and then you're going to be going on the San Marcos on Saturday, and then on Sunday here in Conroe, and then you're going right to Baton Rouge on Monday. So it gives you an idea. You're traveling, man, and then you're going to be in Louisiana, and then by end of next week you're going to be like Mississippi, more like around the Louisiana, and then Alabama. I mean, it's kind of nuts. You're just doing the world tour, man.
Yeah, and it truly was a world tour this year. I, played a bunch of countries in Europe. I think we talked about that a little bit last. And I actually just last month got done with a Canada run. So I got to play, Ontario, Quebec, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick in Canada.
Insane, man.
Really fun. Yeah, the Canadians are there's some great audiences up there. And then of course, the rundown here in Texas. I mean, Texas has always been one of my favorite states. I mean, I always do really well here. The audiences are great, and just keeping it going, just keep crisscrossing the U.S. and making it out of the U.S. I've got another Europe tour on the books for next year. So yeah, just keeping it going.
Well, you're on your fourth album right now with your Brian Super Happy Fun Time, which I love, and that is your website, briansuperhappyfuntime.com. And are you working on any new music at all?
Well, actually, yes. In 2025, I'm going to have actually several albums coming out. There's a live album on in the works. Bryan Bielanski live at Prague. That was recorded earlier this year on the Europe trip in Prague. So I've got a live album coming out, and I've also got a vinyl single. It's going to be a 4-song, 7-inch vinyl single that's also in the works. So definitely some new music coming out next year, and maybe towards the end of the year I'll get to release the another studio album, Brian's Super Happy Fun Time 5. Of course, I think I definitely got to keep going
Yeah,
with
you're. I mean,
that
you're.
name with the.
I love your album names because you kind of that's how you can keep up with Brian. Like, what's he working on now? Well, he's on 4, and now 5's coming soon. And anything else going on? Like, I mean, tell me, you got any interesting stories being on the road?
Well, yeah, nothing too interesting. I mean, Mom actually got to accompany me for a few shows on the tour just last week because it was her birthday. So to celebrate her birthday, she came along. Actually, she was around for New Mexico and Colorado.
Look at
She
that.
actually just flew home to Charlotte, North Carolina. So it was really cool to have her on tour. And she actually got to come to Europe for a week and a half there too. So it's great to have such a supportive parent, the parent that's so supportive of my music, and but other than that, nothing really exciting this year anyway. I mean, and that's kind of a good thing. Sometimes exciting doesn't always equate to good, but yeah, the shows have been great. The audiences have been great. Luckily, I mean, venues have been treating me really well, and things are just going good.
Yeah, one thing I'll tell the listener, I think I talk about this every time you're on. You're a true artist, and when I say that, I mean like your music is completely original, and it's all over the place. Like whatever inspires you, you write about. For example, you got a song called "Still Living in My Car," which is hilarious because like every time I think of you, I think of your car, and like it's just packed full for like. I'm like, I don't even know if this guy even has like a quote home. He just goes and just doesn't stop. And then you have other songs about like you have a song called Quaker Girl, and you write about girls a lot. Do you have like a bunch of girlfriends in each city or something?
Oh,
Oh, that's a yes.
so those songs, they're kind of like a mix of fiction and fact, but I mean that. I meet a lot of people on the road, so it's a fun time. But thanks for checking out the new album. Those are all songs on the new album that
Yeah,
you mentioned. So yeah, you checking that out, and yeah, and just to for the record, I do actually have an actual address at home
I
in
know.
North
I was
Carolina.
just giving you a hard time.
But no, just saying so because I know some people are curious about it.
Well, I mean,
And
every time I see you, man, it's just like I just don't ever think you stop. And you're always playing, which is remarkable for so that's like probably one of the hardest things for musicians is to keep playing at different places because you're all over the country. And I'm always curious. One thing I love, if I was living your life, is just the different places you get to play and getting to meet the people who run it and see how that becomes successful. Because you've been on the road or playing music for how long? Like traveling, I want to say like 10 years, right?
well, yeah, I started doing it as a full time thing in 2012, and of course
Yeah,
there was a break here and there,
with
especially like
COVID.
during had to
Yeah.
take a break from that. But I mean, since things reopened from COVID, other than the holidays, Thanksgiving through Christmas, I try to stick close to home in North Carolina. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a lot of hard work keeping the calendar full. Just corresponding with venues and trying to get things to line up so that the drives are relatively close city to city and the availabilities that venues have. So it's kind of like somebody spilled 4 or 5 jigsaw puzzles on the ground, and you're like putting them back together. It's kind of like what putting tours a nonstop tour together is like. But I will take some time off in December this year to kind of reflect and get ready for 2025.
Yeah, because one thing I always think about in your situation is you go to a place, say 10 years ago, and then like every year you're visiting it, and then you're seeing the changes, and then one year it's not open anymore, and then they reopen and things like that. And I'm always really curious about that kind of experience just because you see towns evolve. And COVID was one of those interesting times for musicians because everyone got really creative because you can't just stop an artist. You can never tell an artist, hey, you're just going to stop what you're doing because you're going to create in one way or another. And but that it's almost like you should write a book in 10 years. So you have once you get 20 plus years on the road, you can write your road album and you can write your road book because every traveling musician has the road album. Talk about the road and what things like that.
No doubt that's a good idea. No, I definitely one day will write a book. It's I tried. I've got like a few paragraphs written of a book, but I mean, I just stay so busy trying to keep the tours going and all the booking and promotion I
Yeah.
work on. And you brought up a very interesting point there. The venues, sadly a lot of venues close. I mean, I've seen a lot of venues come and go. I've seen a lot of venues that change ownership, and then sadly it's like, well, there we go. It's like starting from square one with somebody that doesn't really know who I am or have a good working relationship with. So it's challenging, and I mean, I just feel bad for the businesses that have gone under. But there's always new places popping up, and I mean, that's just a reminder to me to just keep going and keep going through thick and thin. I mean, and that's how anybody succeeds, really.
Yeah, and it's kind of here. It's hard to value what success is as an artist because your music is you like again you write your own music, and then when you have that one audience member really connect, it's like there it is, there's the gold. And then of course there's the financial side of it, and also just continuing your music. So I have a lot of respect for folks in your position who continue doing it and really don't let it get to them about like, especially after doing it for over 10 years. Because at one point, everyone who's doing the same thing, and when I say quote same thing, I mean like saying what they love. Some people just get tired of it and they're like, oh, I'm going to go be a financial analyst now because the music thing, no one came to my show, that kind of stuff. But props to you, dude. And I want to remind folks, I'm talking to Bryan Bielanski. He is a artist who's performing on Sunday at the Red Brick Tavern. It's a free show, starts at 7. Get there early and stuff like that. I know you got to get back on the road because you're going to San Antonio right now, and you got a drive ahead of you. But is there anything else you want to like share with the audience before we get going?
Not really. I just want to say thank you for all the kind words, Dick. And boy, I really appreciate your continuing support every time I come through Conroe there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I can't wait to have you back in the studio. I'm sorry we couldn't get you in. I know I'm out of town when you were going to be here. And unfortunately, I was like, dang it, because you are a reoccurring character that I love to have on Mornings with Lone Star. Everyone should check out Bryan Bielanski. Go to his website. It is bryanssuperhappyfuntime.com and see where he's at, especially if you're a listener that's not in Texas, because he'll probably be in your area if you live in the United States, in the intercoastal United States. How about that? Unless you go to Port. I mean, I could see you going. You're all over the world. That's right. You're a world traveler. But, Bryan, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get back to the music here on Mornings with Lone Star. And don't forget, if you want to be a guest, you can always be a guest. Reach out to us at irlonestar.com. And then you can always donate and support this morning show. Just look up irlonestar.com. And we will get back to the music. And shout out to Bryan. Be safe traveling. And we'll see you on Sunday at the Red Brick Tavern, dude.
Thanks a lot, Dick. You have a great one. You take care, my friend.